Well, on that note, you've gone from the broke dude not building a car to having what I would consider a pretty insane opportunity going on right now.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Tell us what that is and how did that even come about?
Welcome to Tread Talk, the official podcast of Fury Tires, where rubber meets the road and off-road. Coming up, host Jason Hempy is joined by one of the automotive industry's hardest working and most prolific photographers, Brian McGee. They'll discuss automotive photography, his latest overland build, and what it really takes to get sponsored. Keep it locked because it's going to be a good one. Here's your host, Jason Hempy.
Welcome to Tread Talk. I am here today with Brian McGee, the one and only Brian McGee. One of the OGs another one of the OGs I met today from the car industry in its infancy, from being like this weird little niche thing to like what it is today, you know, when you're at SEMA.
Yeah, man.
So tell me about a lot of people here might not know who you are. So tell me about yourself.
Okay. Well, if you don't know Brian, I am a photographer, mainly a photographer. I've been doing it for 15, maybe 20 plus years. Every build that's probably here at SEMA, every aftermarket truck, tire, wheel company I've probably worked with. So as a creative on that end of it, work as a brand and a marketing manager for a couple other companies and a couple other brands. But just been doing imaging and marketing and creative for the entire aftermarket, majority truck, but aftermarket industry for 15 plus years, man. So
even early on, it was truck.
Early on was, Early on it was a lot more cars because the trucks at that time really weren't the way they are now. Yeah. Obviously in the last maybe 5 to 10 years, it's really blown up. But cars before, just like a lot of us, hot rods, and someone's uncle or somebody's dad is building that, and the cool cars. So those, I grew up around the old schools and cool cars like that. So that's how it started. Yeah.
So did you shoot just for fun, sort of like when you were and then it sort of spiraled into being?
Yes. All of that. Yeah. It was one of those, going to have an opportunity to go to a car show. This is the one place you can see a lot of different vehicles that you like in one place. So just going to a car show or a car meet, usually someone's uncle or dad is building a car in the garage and they got other friends. So it kind of expanded from there. So the short of it is it started a lot of car meets, a lot of old school hot rod-ish type garage builds, and to what it is today. So did you have a build also? Were you going to these shows with like one of your builds, or you just went just because you liked going to see the cars? Or I just went before. I was broke. So we weren't building any cars back then at all. The car building part of it didn't come until my adulthood and knowing how to maneuver around companies, builds, and not spending every dollar out of your own pocket. That's where a lot of the actual brand partnerships and even sponsorships come along with it. But all first, it was just I'm an enthusiast. I love vehicles. I love cars. I love the old school trucks, and that's kind of how it started. Well, on that note, you've gone from the broke dude not building a car to having what I would consider a pretty insane opportunity going on right now. Yeah. So tell me about that. Tell us what that is and how did that even come about? I've shown here before with other vehicles and other builds. This year, I've had the great opportunity to showcase my build and display with Lexus USA. That's wild. I own a 2010 Lexus GX 460, built out more overland. Which you've done a lot of content with previously. Like you've done a lot on your... it's my personal build. It was never built for anything except for just me to be able to go off-road and camp and take more photos and just really just enjoy that part of what I'm doing. So it was purpose built for me. Gladly, it's now been recognized and seen on the highest platform that could, which is now Lexus. So it's showcasing here at SEMA at the Lexus OE booth, and gladly a nice premier front and center spot. So yeah, that's wild. I saw the picture. I didn't even know that was happening because we've known each other for like a little while now since and I saw the picture and I'm like,
where did this come from?
And you know what? The long story short on that, no one knew. I got a call maybe just about a month ago, so it was like obviously another last minute thing here at SEMA. I also had to kind of keep it hush hush on that end of it, so I had to build it until it showed here. Didn't need to do a lot to it. Added more parts.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it
was because you have 2 sets of wheels, I think, for that.
That's on like Friday and Saturday. I got a lot. Yeah. So lots of sets of. I'm known for that guy that would change out my sets as much as I change out my boxers type deal.
Perfect.
So again, lots of wheel and tire setups because I'm just that type of guy that enjoys changing up the actual look of it. But a lot of newer parts. I want to say upgraded parts. Parts I couldn't afford before. So a lot of new brand partners. And again, the call was made. I wasn't going to say no to them. A lot of partners really helped me out this time and got me to where I am with it, man. I'm super stoked on it.
So tell me a little bit about where the build has gone. Because, I mean, that was, what I would consider a pretty much finished build from what it was. That's, what's not a lot more that, outside of obviously changing the wheels or, certain things like that. So tell us about the build in general. Tell us details.
I mean, just generally speaking, I want to call it like an overland off-road build. So,
which you actually use, which I
actually
awesome.
use.
Yes.
So it's a 6-inch lifted GX460, which is on 37s. It's the first one with the 6-inch and 37s in the U.S. People are coming behind. It fits. We're making it fit. Don't want to keep that hammer in there, but it does fit. So wheels and tires on that, 37s on that right there, 6-inch lift. And the upgrades, we had it pretty much set, like you said before, we pretty much had it set ready to go, but I wanted to get the more, I want to call it premium, but the more upgraded parts on it. So upgraded shocks, suspension parts, upper control arms, the bushings on it, upgraded the actual tent to something a little bit newer.
What lift is on there?
So I believe it is a Marcomm 6-inch lift. Now, mind you, for the off-road guys, it's frowned upon. It's more of a lifted truck aspect of it, but that's my hybrid style. Is I'm so influenced by the guys that I'm around. I like the way they look. I like big lifts. So that's on there with everything else that I have. So the big lift, the big tires, just newer lights have been upgraded. All my partners wanted to make sure that.
Yeah, because I noticed that was very spot on. That was that was dialed in.
Everything was there with it. Yeah. So I've had a lot of the parts on there, as you went and mentioned. Just wanted to upgrade it to likely some of the parts I couldn't afford before, but dialed in now, ready to get it in the dirt and really, really enjoy it. I'm so eager to get it out of here.
I really have to say that it's something I respect a lot because not many people would, especially being at once you hit that tier, that now you're officially show truck status.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I've had it there before, but great platform with Lexus. It's as clean as it's ever been, and it actually looks pretty nice when it's clean. But I'm that guy. It is a Lexus, but I'm that guy that wants to drive it. I don't mind getting little dings and bings on it. I just learned to just use it for what it is. I don't want to tear it up. No. But I definitely want to go out and use it, and I want to get that also.
I don't think you're going to risk any off-roading where you're going to roll it.
When I get to a point where I want to make sure that people see and respect the aspect of what I'm doing. I'm an enthusiast. I love off-road. I love doing these things. I have a purpose-built vehicle for that. It's a little bit different from everyone else's. It's not your typical 17-inch lift, 3-inch lift. It's a little bit more.
And the pictures and content are amazing with it.
I love it.
And
that's part of it too. I'm going out and I'm doing the things I want to do. And I always see my vehicle in a certain area and want to take a really good photo of it. So at the end of the day, purpose built, I can show up gladly to a place like this and showcase that vehicle, but still be ready for the dirt tomorrow.
You think it's in the plans next year to bring the other car?
You know what?
Tell everyone what the other one is.
Well, unfortunately, I used to actually have a bagged Honda Odyssey.
Oh, you don't have that anymore?
I don't have it anymore.
What happened?
You know what? I'm sad too. I ended up getting a 4-door car, kind of something a little bit more typical. Yeah, I'm a little sad, but I think I'll definitely be going back to that platform just because I just really love the space And the Oz.
I just like the fact that it was a bagged minivan.
It is that. And I think it's the Oz that bagged minivan gets, and it's just something completely different.
Is it like when you go somewhere and you just air out the sound?
It
Everyone's
is.
just like,
It's the sound. I have one of my exhaust lines heading out, so you do hear a little bit more. And I don't mind pulling up next to a high-end vehicle and showing out a little bit because it's just something completely different. I pulled up next to a Lamborghini, beautiful-looking car, but you can see more Lamborghinis. You're not going to see a bagged van.
No, I can assure you it's extremely unique.
Yeah.
When you told me the first time that you had that, I thought you were joking, but then I saw the pictures and I'm like, that's actually really, like, it's really cool. That's why I'm kind of disappointed you don't have it anymore.
And I appreciate I mean, I have just a Lexus LS, like 4-door now, which is a great car that I have.
Yeah, that's amazing. So do you actually, like, daily, you drive that a lot? Or?
So the LS is now my actual, like, daily car, which used to be my van.
Right.
And my GX is literally now it's just a weekend car. Gladly I have that opportunity now that I have a daily.
Are you going like full VIP style with it?
I'm not. Yet. I can't say no ever, but it's one of those, like, I got it because I wanted.
That's what everyone says. Famous last words.
Hey, famous last words.
Yeah.
All of us say. It's just one of those. I wanted to get a car, I can just get in it and drive it. I won't have to worry about any other parts with it. I say that right now.
We'll talk next year.
Yeah, I'll say that right now. Maybe in a few months.
I'm at Lexus with my GS VIP.
That might all change in a few months. But as of right now, I just want to enjoy the drivability of it.
There is something nice too about getting in a car. We don't have to worry about certain things.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, that might be
But
our
then that
age
gets
a little
boring.
bit. Yeah,
but then it gets boring. It gets you. You try to get away.
It does. So again, it's an itch.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't have to scratch it too much, but it's there. I'm a car guy. I'm an enthusiast. I want to always, like anyone else, have my best foot forward with it. So going incognito is not my style, but I'm trying my best right now just to hold on to that comfortability of it.
It's like on the shoulder, the two.
They're both on there. They're both on the shoulder.
They're both saying the same thing.
They're both saying the same thing.
Wheels.
The angel and the devil. Like, hey guys, what are you doing?
Air, wheels.
Yes, exactly. They're both saying the exact same things on that with it.
So have you been sort of being incognito, looking at people watching the Lexus? Have you been like, has it been getting a lot of attention? Or
I've tried to, like, mind you, I'm in another hall working at my actual work booth. The truck is in another hall. But yeah, I've made it over there. Incognito, trying to sit back a little bit and just seeing how people react with it. Like anything else, you're going to get the people who love it and people who dislike it, and that's okay with it.
you actually saw some people like be a little bit negative?
It's not. I mean, it's a vehicle. It's a truck. It's an off-road truck with 20-inch wheels on it.
Right.
Automatically, I'm already what's he doing with that? And those that know that it's a bracket lift on there, they're like, it's not off-road. So those people who are typical off-roaders are going to frown upon it.
Right.
Those people who have never seen it before are going to be like, whoa, I've never seen that before. So I'm that hybrid guy that rides between the show-ish style and actual functional off-road aspect of it. So a little bit of both. It's always glad to just see people's reactions to the things that I've put a lot of work into.
Do you think there'll be any more iterations to it, or you think this is kind of it? You think you're like happy with it now, or
this
is that
will
ever
be
something?
a majority it? And as an enthusiast and truck builder and everything else with it, we never say never, and that's just it's what it is. But this round with it, a lot of the build partners that really helped me kind of tear it off and really like put that cherry on top with it, I'm really there with it. There's a couple of the things like maybe there's a long travel kit down the road with it to kind of make it a little bit more.
But nothing like major.
Nothing major. I think we're at it where I want with it. I'm super happy. It looks great. It rides good. It's functional. I just want to just go out and start using it in the dirt, man.
Yeah.
That's literally it. I want to pop the tent that I haven't even opened up yet and go out and start using it.
And that's how I know the other car is going to start getting built, because if this still had something going on, you'd be distracted. It'd be fine. But now that it's kind of done.
Yeah. You know, and
I know it.
You're completely right. And
Yeah.
like I said, I'm doing everything I possibly can not to do that. But like you said, hit me up in 3 or 6 months, and that whole entire conversation is
I'll
probably
just be
gonna
waiting for my
different.
Instagram feed.
And there it is. It'll pop up.
So something I think is worthwhile talking about, especially because you have a build here.
Mm-hmm.
What are some tips that you have for people looking to do a build, to get a build? Like, what are some of the things you've had to go through and do to even get a build here? Because that's a pretty big uphill battle.
It is.
And also even on the side of the content creation, tips for people, because those are two very huge things that you've accomplished, obviously.
Greatly.
But, yeah.
So, I mean, the first part of that is the build part of it. Everyone's going to use the word sponsorship. It associates with discounted parts and free parts. I tend to use the word partnership a little bit more because these are my build partners.
Right.
My deal is creating relationships. First of all, the parts that I have on my vehicle are parts that I'm going to use anyways. I would personally use anyways. It's a choice that I'm making to use those parts. Gladly, I'm in a position where I can create a partnership with those people.
That's actually a great topic to talk about, because I come up with that. Happens in getting just a sponsored part doesn't mean you just get it and it's like great.
Correct.
There's an expectation on the other side, and you have to fulfill that obligation.
Always.
Like, for example, obviously, you built it and you were able to get it here and bring it here. Correct. And now Lexus is able to use it for marketing. But you're fulfilling your obligation by also doing the content that you've done, right? The pictures that they're going to get aren't just like taking your phone and taking some blurry picture. Yeah. Like, the pictures they're receiving from what you've put on your car, they can use for their sales material or like marketing.
And just to kind of tie those two things, that my advantage is as a content creator and a photographer, that's my advantage and my closing point when I talk to those brand partners. I understand getting those parts. They're looking for a marketing asset with it. They want to know that the value that they just put into you, that they get something back. So the advantage.
Well, they're lucky in your case.
That's what it is, exactly. The advantage is I can go out and take these photos. I've created some of these ads for different companies. So the goal is for me is to make sure that I create that content that they can use. They see, at the end of the day, they see value in their investment in with me. So a sponsorship is that they're giving you product either at a discounted or even free product. My deal is to make sure that I create value back into that. My advantage is, as a content creator and a photographer, I can create and give them content that they can use for marketing.
Absolutely. That's really what you need.
And that's what it is. So if you're doing that, that's my advantage, but that's telling everyone else with it. Create value. If someone's giving you a lot of product that costs a lot of money, what is your value to that one company there? And mind you, if you're great with it, you've got 20 companies that you're partnering with, and those are all my partners. So again, creating the content, that's the content creation part of it, sharing it on social platforms, cross promoting some of that. So if I'm sharing content here, they'll share it. And now instead of just having one post, I've got maybe 6 to 10 posts. And companies love to get visibility. It's as simple as that right there.
Absolutely. So, well, yeah, you have followers, the content.
Correct.
I think you're an excellent example of what should be expected in a sport. Like, we should actually be using your account to be like, hey, well, this is why, because.
And it is, and I'm not the
because a lot of people have entitlement. Like, sometimes I've come across that a lot.
It's so hard because you get a lot of, again, air quotes, free parts. There's expectations that you said that go in,
and even if you have a nice build, just because you have a nice build doesn't mean it's expected that because great, it's on your truck and on your build, and you might be going to shows, but if they're not getting, for example, it's great that you're going to shows, but you need to document that. They need to be able to actually share and show that. And like I said, it can't be with a cell phone. That's like, you need to do it properly.
Again, I always use the words, the companies I want to get legs out of everything that's doing, meaning I need to be able to extend past this initial conversation or even post. Other companies, more builds, sharing it on social media, maybe having another company showcase some of the builds and just getting more legs out of it so they understand that it's not just today or tomorrow. Hopefully you have a long-term relationship with them, so when new parts come in or you even have a new build, hey, I've sold the old build, but I still want to be able to partner up with you. Are you willing to work with me on this right here? So my idea is creating great relationships with these people and handshakes and face-to-face.
Yes.
And creating value for them with me, with all my content creation and just my general relationship with them. I can come up to you and say hello and what's up and have a conversation that has nothing to do with work, and they love having that.
Yeah, no, that truly is, because it comes across a lot. You know, you see it, and I feel genuinely pretty bad for manufacturers or businesses that give
so hard,
free, which are not cheap. You know, you know, and they're getting almost nothing in return. I see it happen all the time. You know,
it does. And unfortunately, it's happening more lately than it is now. And manufacturers are seeing that, and it's being harder to get parts because of that. But again, at the end of the day.
Well, thankfully, you've built up such a repertoire that, you know, it's easy to show them, like, hey, this is what I can.
This is what I have. This is what I did. I mean, my relationships with publications, the things that I'm personally doing, they know they're getting material out of it past just giving me material or a couple of photos.
Right. So,
again, building relationships on all ends of it.
Yeah, it's a lot to learn with that whole side of building a show car and the sponsorship side, and that's a big learning curve. And
Correct.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that
there's
goes
a lot
into
to it. I wish a lot of the guys did do that. Maybe that's something that I can at some point in time sit down and try and help educate that, because it just builds
you need
value.
That's, you know, when you pass down wisdom, that's like, you know, you have the very
the little extra grades in here too as well. Yeah, there's a couple of extra grades in here as well.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. I mean, obviously, as I'm getting older, I didn't know this 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought people just had a lot of money and I was just broke, and I was like, why do they get all these free parts? How you get this? And then sponsorships. And then when I got my first sponsorship, and I'm like, whoa, this is how it works. But again, always grateful for the opportunities, always thankful for those opportunities, and is building value in myself for those companies.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think truthfully, that's why you've been able to do that, is because of what you've given in return. So that's a big difference versus what I've seen many times.
It is.
Yeah.
Again, we're as a community hoping that the guys coming in can really understand it's not free parts.
Right.
We're building.
Yeah, I actually want people to know that.
It's not just free parts.
Yes.
It is not free parts. We want to build value in the community, so companies want to work with the builders more and consumers more, and vice versa. As a builder, companies are willing to work with us more. So it literally has to come together with it. We have to work one-on-one with it, but not take advantage, because those companies don't owe us anything.
Still need to sell. They still need to make money. Otherwise, they're not going to be there.
Exactly
right?
what it is.
They can't just work for free. No one works for free.
Yeah, no one works for free. No
So-
matter if you get those parts that they look like they're free, but everyone's working for it.
But that's advertising. That's in there. That's advertising budget going to
that's
sponsorship.
Exactly what it is. It's the marketing, it's the advertising, and they're again. But that's their investment in you, is giving you that part that costs X amount of dollars. Sometimes
That's right.
in the upwards of thousands of dollars.
And it's expected that you show up at a show like this.
Correct.
And the build is complete and it's done properly.
Complete is another part of it. Complete showcasing it. But this is where we have to invest our time and our money into making sure it's here. It looks good.
That's right.
And everything
Which
else.
is a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
It's a lot.
That's why SEMA for every year it kills all of us.
Well, and you know, it gets even harder depending on where you're from. If you're from East Coast and you're coming to SEMA and you got a trailer, a truck. I was talking about that with one of our previous guests. We were talking about, okay, you build a show truck and you have to trailer that 2,000, 3,000 miles.
Correct.
So now you need a dually.
Yes.
With a trailer.
A large trailer.
And the actual built truck. So you're talking right there, those three things is upwards of 300,000, 400,000, 500,000.
Easy with all that right there. You've got fuel costs.
That's what I'm saying. Like the whole trip, all set. Yeah,
So,
when you consider obviously the value of the truck in it. Yeah.
So it's a great investment on both ends of it. So it's a balance. Yeah.
Before we sign off, what's the best Instagram handle to follow your content? Because I know, I think you have two.
I have two. So my main one is at It's Just Brian, and spelled all the way out. ITSJUSTBRIAN. It's Just Brian.
Yeah.
I keep it super simple. So I keep everything there. I try and interact with people, the cars, the trucks, my interaction with people, and a big taco connoisseur. So when I'm out having tacos, you get to see what I'm eat over there with it. But yeah, there it is. It's just Brian on the IG.
Yeah, I love a lot of the content creators and like, influencers and people that are, it's always like car, truck, and then food.
It's a part of it.
They're like so hand in hand.
I'm just, I try to make it to where I'm just literally just a regular person like that. It's just Brian. It's just as simple as that. I want to make myself approachable when people do see me. That gladly I'm on a great platform to talk to people and be with different companies, but I also want to make sure that everyday guy feels comfortable enough to come up, talk to me, and be like, oh, I saw this and saw that, and that's just what it's there for. Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching this episode. Thanks, Brian.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you next time.
All right, guys.